Okay, hello everybody. This is Helen. I teach at the Dorothy Benson Senior Services Center. And today is our last class doing the trees, angels, and gnomes. And let me show you what they kind of turned out. They are in the kiln right now, so I haven't gotten them back and I haven't had a chance to glaze them, but I'll show you what they look like so far. Share. Okay, so let me see if I can get up there. Okay. So basically what we're doing is we're piercing the clay, and on the left you'll see the gnome, and his beard kind of didn't look like a beard, so you can't see it, but I painted very faint light gray lines on it to indicate it's a beard. So hopefully it comes out that way. I wanted to keep them, white as I could. The one on the right is a penguin, and same method. You just put 2 pinch pots together and just add the beak and the arms. And all of these, the bottom is carved out so I can insert fairy lights or tea lights. Okay, so these haven't been fired. The penguin is painted with that same light gray. You can't see it, but instead of the black and white penguin, I have painted him with really light gray. Okay, now here's the angel on the left. It hasn't been fired yet, but you can see the lights better, and the gnome, you can see the lights better. It is kind of tedious because you have to clean all these openings you cut out. And notice on the gnome, I had the light going all the way to its hat. Okay, the angel, I probably should have pierced something so that the light goes up to the halo. And so next time I'll do that. So here's some of the Christmas trees. I had fairy lights that had blue color in it, and it's really pretty with the blue. And then the middle picture is if you turn off the lights, this one's white fairy lights or tea light, and it's going to create shadows. And the one on the right is that same blue fairy light, and it kind of like you got like those blue lights shining on your wall. So they're pretty cool to play with. Okay, so today what I'm going to do is show you, we're going to do ornaments. And these are really fun to do with children. And I recommend you use the paper, air dry paper clay. I'm using porcelain paper clay, and they will have to be fired. The air dry paper clay, you don't have to fire it, just let it dry completely, treat it just like regular clay. And the cool thing is, you don't have to fire it. And also you can paint it with acrylic paint, so you can personalize it. This one, I have to fire it. I could, once it's been bisque fired, the first firing, I could paint it with acrylic paints, or if I glaze it, I probably can only glaze it on one side because unless I fire at a lower temperature, but because it'll have to be stilted, because it's flat. And even if you had like a bead holder, you probably can only get a few on each wire strand because they can weigh down the bead holder, and probably still at a lower temperature. It might sag at cone6. So these are probably just going to be unglazed and yeah, just unglazed. I might paint it with acrylic paints. I don't know. Okay, so there's several things you can do, and I am using cookie cutters. Okay, so the simpler your cookie cutter, the better your end product's going to be. If you have something complicated like this, you're just going to have to be real careful, and it's kind of tedious to clean the edges. This snowman one is really fun to use because you can paint his hat, give him a scarf, paint a face, things like that. So this is lots of fun to do with children. All right. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can do this. Okay. Now, I think you can see this on the camera, but do you see how the edges are rounded and not cut straight? It's kind of like puffy. I use, what do you call this? Saran wrap, okay? And this works if you don't have a complicated design like this, okay? And this, the star was very simple. I don't think it's gonna work very well with this, but we can try. And what happens is the plastic kind of like pushes down the edges, so you get that rounded edge. Now, it's not gonna happen on the other side. So as this clay dries, I'm going to have to, you know, when I can pick it up, I'm going to have to take that squeezed out sponge and kind of sand the edges smooth on the other side. I could round it if I wanted to on the other side, but that's just a lot of work. So this guy is just going to stay like this, okay? And you want to dry it flat like this, and you want to keep an eye on it and flip it over and kind of let it dry evenly. Otherwise, it might warp and curl up, which is, you know, okay, right? So let me roll out my clay. Move this aside. So get things ready. Have a tray or a board or something you can lay your finished product on, okay, and get all your tools ready. I'm going to use the, I wonder if this this gingerbread, if you happen to have some dark brown clay, this is fantastic for that, because you can just, of course you'll have to fire it, but if you have brown firing clay and access to a kiln, you can bisque fire these. They kind of look like gingerbread colors. And then you can just paint it with acrylic paint. You don't have to like use underglazes and glazes, because it's an ornament, okay? So the gingerbread is kind of cute. Let me do it two ways. Let me do it without the saran wrap, and then let me do it with it. I have here, I think this is a 1/4 inch. Let me measure here. A 1/4 inch, yep. This is 1/4 inch dowel rod that you can probably get it like in a Home Depot or Lowe's, or, you know, one of those arts and crafts stores. I'm not sure if they sell it, but they might. And I cut it in half. Yeah. And then what this does is when I roll out the clay, okay, this is going to, the height of this, the 1/4 inch is going to stop, the dowels are going to stop me from going further, thinner than 1/4 inch. So let me get some clay out. I'm using a special clay that has, it's porcelain mixed with paper pulp, and it's not air dry. It does have to be fired in a kiln. I got it because you can make some thin stuff and it keeps things from breaking easily. Porcelain's picky. You can use any kind of clay you want, okay? So little bit by little bit, and you want to roll out the clay from the center out. You want to keep flipping it over. Now, if you have lace, which I don't have, you can roll the texture of the lace onto it, and you'll have, you can cut out a star or something, and you'll have it lace textured, and that's really pretty too. Okay, so I'm just going to keep flipping it over. It's picking up the texture of the fabric. Okay, if I don't like that, I can smooth it out with a sponge or clean it up later, okay? Also, looks like my rolling pin is dirty, has dried clay on it, and it's picking up the dried clay texture, so get that off. I should have cleaned it. Okay, so I'll get that clean. That's better. All right. So let's do it one more time. And I do have it on canvas. And the reason why is if I have to pick up the piece, it'll be easier to get it off a piece of canvas cloth than to try to peel it off the work surface. Okay, I think I got a 1/4 inch. Okay, yeah. All right. So I'm going to do, and you know what, sometimes it's, I'm gonna wet just, I can't dip this in. Well, maybe I can, hold on. Dip it into my water thing so that the form has water on it and it can release easily. All right, let's try the gingerbread man, okay? Now, once you press it, you want to remove the excess clay from around it. Oh, come on, you must come off. Okay. And then carefully, I'm probably gonna get fingerprints. Wow. Yeah, it all looks like it's easy, like all you do is roll out clay and stamp, stamp, stamp. It actually requires work, so. Okay, so I got my gingerbread man and I also got some fingerprint marks on there. I'll just kind of clean it. Okay, and when it stiffens up, I can clean them. Okay, if you want Mr. Gingerbread Man to have a little bit of character, he's fun to play with. You can like make his arms come out, okay, or make one leg come out or something. Make it look like he's running. Okay, so right now, I'm going to transfer it, and later on, when it's stiffer, I'm going to kind of like make a hole in this. If I try to make a hole in it right now, it's going to push some of the clay out and distort his head. So absolutely carefully, I'm going to transfer him to my tray. Okay, now, next I'm going to make another gingerbread man, but this time, let's see. Okay, this time I think I will give him a star on his chest. How's that? Oh, actually, I was going to show you the saran wrap method. So hold on just a second. Let me do that first. Okay, you want to, you know, clay, you recycle it, and you do want to wedge it, the recycled clay especially. Make sure it's all even consistency. Okay. All right, let's see if you can see this pretty good. All right. Oh, I forgot my dowel rods. All right. Okay. From the center out, from the center out. Flip it over, make sure there's no creases. So from the center out, I probably have some air bubbles in this one. Yep. Push it out. Okay, let's turn it over again. Push it out. This one's going to be a bigger one. Okay, I don't worry about the air bubbles. I probably should. I mean, they're not going to make stuff explode in the kiln or anything. They just get in the way of the design, okay? So I think I almost have it at 1/4 of an inch. Let me try one more time. This guy is pretty thin and delicate. And don't worry if your couple of first ones don't come out. You just smush up the clay again and redo it. These are not that time consuming to make, so. And if you want to do this with children, you can either, I guess if they're, some can, you know, cut these out. Or you might want to go ahead and cut them out ahead of time. Either fire it or air dry it, depending on the type of clay you're using. And get some acrylic paints and start painting stuff on it. If you're using regular clay, you can like roll it out on lace, you know, and texture it, and then cut out the design. And then you can probably rub underglazes or stains in it, and then that'll pick up some of the lace designs. Okay, so now this is that plastic wrap. I'm going to try to get it on here as neatly as I can. All right. I hate this stuff because it's really hard to keep it from sticking to itself. I'm not sure if that, that Glad sticky wrap or something, I don't think that works as well. I think it has to be flexible and stretchy, a stretchy type. I bet something like pantyhose would work really good now that I think about it, because it's real stretchy and kind of probably give the same effect, but I don't have any pantyhose on me. So, okay, then you got to press real hard and really make sure you've gotten everything. And it's going to tear up your plastic wrap. Okay, so see how it's kind of puffy here? All right, now I'm going to remove this and cut away some of this. Let's see if I can lift it up carefully. Okay, so this way I don't have to push it out of the form because it's the plastic wrap created a barrier. But he's really cute when he's puffy like this. Let's see if you can see it. Okay, I'm gonna get the other one to compare. But these are so wet. Okay, so he's like has a hard edge, but he's got a puffy edge and it's really cute. So I will set those aside. And you can even write names on them too. Okay, let me try one where we're going to pierce it. Especially if you're air dried clay, make sure you keep any scraps in the bag so that it doesn't dry out right away. Let's see, what was I going to do? Oh, I could make another one, okay, but I'm going to put a little heart, and this is my heart cutter thingy, and I'm going to put it right there. So I'll push that in. I'll go ahead and take it out. So you want to probably make any piercings before you cut out do the cookie cutter. Okay, so I got that little heart, not heart, star. Okay, now once again, I'm going to wet this guy because I'm just using, okay, and then I can eyeball where he goes, the heart, not the heart. The star is going to go, press, cut away the excess. Let's see if I can shake this one out. Come on now. Probably not a good idea, but let me try it. Nope, not going to come out easily. Probably putting oil on the edges might make it easier. Okay, so this is what it looks like with a little star right smack in the middle, okay? Well, that's kind of cute. I think I like the puffy edges better. All right, so now I'm going to try the snowflake. I don't think it's going to work with the plastic wrap, but let's try it and see if it does. And it gets torn up, where you used it before. So I'm going to get a new one, a new piece. Okay, let's see how much of this we can get to work. I'll put it right here. Oh, this one's hard. Okay. Because it's got too many nooks and crannies and the plastic wrap is resisting. I really have to make sure it's on there. I'm using the wooden spoon because that's all I have to help press it down. All right, let's see if that works. It might not work because it's just a little bit more complicated design. Okay, so far it works. Let's see if I can get this out. All right, not bad. Okay, I think I like that plastic wrap. And then, because if I didn't use the plastic wrap, what happens is, remember I had a hard time getting this out? It's going to distort big time. So using the plastic wrap is a good technique for this intricate design. I guess that means I'm going to have to cut some more plastic wrap pieces. So the back is not clean. So when it gets stiff, I can smooth out the back and I can clean it. But right now I don't want to distort anything. So I'm just going to carefully put it on the tray. Oh, I think it looks distorted. Well, I think this cookie cutter was distorted. Yeah, it is. Okay, so where's my other one? Okay. I also just recently got these cookie cutters. They're not as distorted as this one. And I don't think this will work, see, because it's got too many intricate places. And this probably will work. Yeah. All right, let me try one more of the snowflake. Out. Let's see, wedge up the clay. And I also have this, it's not a holiday cookie cutter, but it's a dog and it's really cute because after your thing is done, you can paint it and give it all kinds of patterns and turn them into all kinds of dogs. This one doesn't have standing up ears, but I guess you can attach standing up ears. It's probably just it looks like a hound dog shape, yeah. So it's not like a German Shepherd or a Terrier or something, but online they have all kinds of cookie cutters of different types of dogs and everything. Okay. Clay is starting to dry out on me. So I'm probably going to have some cracks. Yeah, it's starting to dry out. I didn't wedge it really good. Over, I'm actually going to wet it just a little bit. You got to be careful. Don't wet it too much because it'll stick to your rolling pin. All right, starting to get thin. I guess I'll just keep going this way. Yeah, you really want to flip it over, turn it around when you roll it, okay? It kind of gives it strength to. Okay, that's good enough. Now, let's see, what was I going to do? Oh, I know. Okay, so I showed you how to pierce it first. If you have stamps, you could texture it first. Let me see if this will work. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, so I've got this cute little flower stamp I made. And I'm just going to randomly texture this clay. And so it'll just be on one side, unfortunately, but it'll still be cute. So you can roll, like I said, you can roll lace onto it, any kind of texture design. Sometimes you can do both sides and you won't lose the back side texture. Okay, so I got this little cute flower texture right here. Okay, you can see that. All right. Now, I think I will do here. You want the plastic wrap to be as smooth as possible. I'm going to try this and see if it works. So I can see where the flowers are. Well, not that well, but okay, I'll just do it that way. So once again, I'm gonna have to have a helper spoon. Press this down because it hurts your hands. Okay. Hopefully that worked. Oh, it's actually really cute. Okay, so I've got a really cute one. Now, I don't want to move this because I'm going to distort this side. So I'll stamp something there first, cut something out. Let's see. How about, let's see, what do I have? Stars. Yeah, I'll just do the star. Okay. So carefully lay your piece of plastic out. Hopefully it's smooth. And let's see, here we go. We'll put one of the flowers in the middle. Okay. One-ish. Okay. Uh-oh. All right, I gotta throw this plastic away probably. It's got holes in it now. All right, and then carefully take away the excess clay. Oh, these are really pretty. I highly recommend this. Okay, so if you have lace or something, these are really pretty. So, and they're just gonna be white in mine, but yeah, these are really pretty. If you do like air dry paper clay, and once it's completely dry, you can put a base coat on like white, and then you can like kind of like rub in a darker color, so it just the darker colors get stuck in the recesses, and that's kind of pretty too. So it's kind of fun to experiment. All right, I gotta transfer this. Oh. So I can see I'm going to have a lot of ornaments made. That means a lot of cleaning up of the edges. Okay, now let's go. We did that texture. Let's go extreme piercing. No, we can't do that because then I'll have holes. Let's do a double one where we do a star, a star within a star. Clay is starting to dry out on me. Let me add a little bit of water. See if I can reconstitute it. So we haven't done the snowman. He's really cute. Okay. So if you have small grandchildren, this is kind of fun to do with them. Just make extras in case they drop one or two and they break. And if you use the air dry clay, or if you just paint it with acrylic paint, the final product, and if they messed up or something, you can repaint it over the acrylic paint. So that's the good thing about acrylic paint. You just keep painting it. Whereas if you were doing underglaze or glazing, you just get one shot and that's it. Okay, so that's pretty wet, so that's good. Once again, my 1/4-inch dowel rods, they seem to be a perfect thinness. Okay, we'll flip this over. Okay. Flip it over and turn it around. Actually, I need it wider, so I'll just move it this way. So if you decide to use the air dry paper clay, I think you need to make sure you get all that clay off your hands, and don't put air dry clay down the sink. I think it has something in it. Maybe it has a plaster-like thing in it, but it does get pretty hard like concrete. So, but it's really good stuff if you're not, doing anything like a cup or something, utensil that you're going to drink out of. Okay, so I was going to do a star within a star. Let's see, how do I do that? First, I got to do this small star. So I have 2 of these. Let's see if I can do it like this. Oh, this is going to be a delicate one. Maybe a tiny star would have been better, but let me try this, see if it happens, okay? And you know, if it doesn't work out, you can redo it. Okay, so I got this tiny little star. Oh, you might want to keep this and stick it on something, you know, applique it on something. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and use the plastic wrap again. Because I kind of like that around it. It's a hassle to have to, you know, do this, but it also releases from your shape a lot easier. I highly recommend this. You gotta push a little bit harder, but okay. I think I got that star in the middle. When you do this, oh, something weird going on there. Okay. All right, so this piece is going to be a lot more delicate because, you know, I've got a big hole in the middle, basically. I'm going to save that just in case I could use it for something else. Okay, so we will. Oh, so that's that, the star one. That's pretty cool. Hope it survives. If you made that out of air dry paper clay, I think it'll be a lot stronger, and you shouldn't worry. This one's porcelain, so it might be a little bit delicate. Okay, now snowman. We haven't done the snowman. We got to do the snowman because he's so cute. Okay, on the snowman, I'm thinking, well, if I make it thicker than 1/4 of an inch, he's going to be a little bit too heavy. But I feel like he needs to be a little bit thicker. Yeah, because you don't want to make like gigantic ornaments because they'll be like too heavy for the tree. Okay, I'm going to make this just a tiny bit thicker than 1/4 of an inch. Okay, by not going all the way down to the dowel rod. And Mr. Snowman needs plastic again. Okay. And I should have no problems with this one. Okay. So right now he just doesn't look like much, but I'm going to just destroy this one because I need to show you what you can do to it. So hold on just a second. Okay, so you can, I'm just going to press in so you can see, okay? And you can give him a scarf. So you would paint these on, all right? I'm just pressing in. And then when you paint, let me give you a hint. You can, if you have acrylic paint, dip the end of a small brush. And if you just, if it's not like dripping wet, you can make perfect round dots, okay? But you got to dip it in every time and don't have too much. But I'm just going to press in so you can see. Okay, and then he needs eyes and a nose and a mouth. You don't want his eyes to be the same size as his, oh, I don't have a carrot nose, but I guess you can attach a carrot nose. So if I was painting this, you know, he might look like this. Okay, do you see? And he's got a little scarf on there. Okay, and a hat. All right. But this one, I'm not going to keep that one. Okay, so let's see, what else can we do? How about we'll do a moon and put a little, attach that star that I cut out earlier. It might be a little bit too big. Okay, my clay has dried out already. Air dry clay might dry out real fast too, but it's winter, the humidity is low, and we got the heat on in the house, so things do kind of dry out faster. Okay. I should try one of those super complicated snowflake ones to see if it even works, huh? Let me do the applique type. Okay, I got the clay too wet on that side and it's stuck to my, it has stuck. Wipe that off or else it'll make a mark. Ooh, that's a mess. Okay, I'm just gonna have to use water here. Yeah, my rolling pin is gonna be too wet, so I'm gonna put a barrier temporarily. This fabric's going to absorb some of the moisture, so that would be good, but I don't want that, the wet rolling pin to touch it. So I'm just going to let the fabric absorb some of the water from the rolling pin. And that should be okay for now. Okay, put the dowel rods back. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to make it like exactly 1/4 of an inch because this moon looks like he's kind of delicate. And I am going to use the plastic again. This is so much easier than trying to remove the shape from the cutter. So, okay. Oops, I had the clay way too wet. Okay. And maybe the star is way too big. So let me cut out a little star. Let's see. Do I have a small one? Somewhere. Okay, I think this is the next size I have. So it's a little bit tiny. Okay, let's see if this even works. It might. Oh, it's stuck to the plastic. It doesn't work that well. It's awfully tiny too. I think that's way too tiny. Let's try this one, see if he's kind of big, but it kind of looks good. Yeah, I thought I was going to put a face on the moon, but I don't think I will. So I'm going to attach this to the moon. Move this. Don't forget, when it dries, you can drill a hole or do it while it's still a little bit soft. But when it's soft and you make a hole, it's going to distort your shape a little bit. So keep that in mind. All right, I'm just going to, before I attach it, I have to clean up the edges because that's going to be impossible to do once I attach it. So I'm very lightly, I squeeze out the sponge really good, very lightly, cleaning the edges and the surface. I wonder if I can soften the edges like this way. Let's try that. Yeah, sometimes, trying different things works. Sometimes it doesn't. It wasn't that exciting. It didn't work that good. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I just cleaned that edge. And this is the star that I did not cut out using the plastic wrap. I need to clean the texture off of this thing. I picked up the fabric texture. Okay. All right, I think that's good enough. And I'm going to score the back. So I'm going to score the back. I don't have any slips, so let's see if I can mush up some clay real fast. See if I can make a slip real quick. Yeah, I have a habit of not planning ahead, so I get into lots of trouble. But then I find ways that can make things work. So, okay, water and slip. Now, this is the porcelain clay with paper pulp in it, so I can see the paper pulp in there. And score that very carefully. Wet that, score it some more, see if I can make it a little bit mushy here. All right, if nobody knocks this off, it should stay. And I don't have to lay it flat. I can, okay, I'm gonna wiggle it until it has suction. It's not gonna move anymore. Okay, and then I'm going to make the little points kind of, oops, got clay on that. Kind of come out, maybe give it character, maybe twist it a little bit. Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, so there's my moon. It's very delicate. Kind of looks like a starfish. I better not twist it that much. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Okay, I hope it doesn't plop on. All right, I'm going to let that dry very slowly again. Okay, pretty cool. All right, so I think we covered, one thing you can't do is pierce a whole lot. If you do that, you need to know where you're going to put your cutter. Let's see if I can do that. I'm going to make a mark here, okay? So that's the area I can do it. I think this is a little bit risky because, let me get this out. Oh, I can't get it out. Let me use a different cutter. Well, I thought I had a heart shape. It doesn't look like I have a heart shape. It must have been my imagination that I have a heart shape. Okay, so since I don't have a heart shape, I'll just make a random design. Okay, so I'm going to wet this little tiny cutter. And I'll do this. Okay, I'm going to get this out though. Well, it won't come out with this. And that should still be wet. Now I'm making sure I give it enough space, all right? Pull this out. I think you can't, it's not a good idea to leave that lump of clay in there. Take this here. Yeah, wetting it makes it so much easier. So two things, wetting it and the plastic wrap will save you a lot of headaches. Because I've done this without the plastic wrap before. It just was, would stick, couldn't get it out. You would distort your piece. And then I remember that the people who do polymer clay use plastic wrap when they cut out their forms so they can have that nice rounded edge. Wasn't too sure if it's going to work on clay, but it looks like it works on simple cutout designs. Okay, so I just cut a bunch of triangles out. Now I'm going to lay that plastic again. It's getting pretty worn out. It looks like I can keep reusing it. Okay, and the star. See if I can match up where I had it. It doesn't look right. Oh, that's not right. Okay, it's going to have to be right there. I may have to redo this one. Okay. So a little bit harder to do the super pierced ones, okay? Because they're so not much clay there. And I didn't press it hard enough, so my edges didn't get a clean cut. Yeah, I'm gonna have to toss this on the way. Okay, but that's what it kind of looks like. That's pretty cool too. You just have to be careful and not, get too close to the edge. I got too close right there and right there. Yeah. Okay, well, that's kind of fun. All right. So remember, use the plastic wrap if you can. And I'm gonna have to clean that. The simple cutters are the best, okay? Something like this one just really distorted to begin with. It's just not a strong metal or something. This one feels a lot stronger. It's not moving. But anything this complicated, I doubt it if it's going to work with the plastic wrap. I mean, I can try right now. A real quick sample and see if it does. It just has too many nooks and crannies, and I don't think it's going to work. So let me try this real quickly. This is just going to be a test piece, so we don't worry about it. Okay. Plastic wrap. And I'm going to have to use the wooden spoon because it really needs to be pressed down. I said that maybe pantyhose might work. What about those lacy pantyhose? They have texture on them. That might be cool because then you'll get the automatic texture when you cut it out. Okay, let's hope I got all of that. Let's see if this works. Okay, so it busted up the plastic wrap. So far, so good. I think maybe wait a little bit. Oh my gosh, this works pretty good. All right, I think this works. I wish this wasn't a test piece. That's not bad at all. I'm gonna have to make some like this. Now the clay is much thicker, okay? If it was thinner, I think this is much thicker than I normally roll it up, but that actually worked. All right, that's promising here, okay? So remember, the plastic wrap is your friend. You'll have to go through a lot of that. And the simpler the design, you can try the complex one. And then the piercing, I really don't like this one because it only pierces up to here, a tiny bit. The ones for polymer clay are the same shape all the way. So, you can, I think that works better. I may have to go online and see what kind of things they have. And then if you buy the cookie cutter, this one I actually found it at Target. It's a seasonal thing. They just have this. This one, these I think are individual ones they sell in, like cooking stores or whatever. They're not that strong and they tend to warp because I can move this. This one's pretty strong, okay? It's like steel almost. I recommend those. And then a quarter, don't forget 1/4 inch. And use the dowel rod, that's your friend. So here are my things that are going to dry. And remember, you want to flip it over and keep drying, and don't forget to put the hole. You can also, like, let's say you forgot to put the hole in there. You can carefully, some people actually use a drill and drill a hole. With the air dried clay, you could probably do that. But with this porcelain clay, I don't think so. I just need to catch it before it dries out and drill the hole in there. I think I'm going to discard this one because this is a warped. Yeah, it's already kind of stiffening up. This one's not. This is that. This is this cutter, and it's not perfect. It's kind of wonky, and so the end result came out wonky. And you don't have to throw away your clay, remember that? And then the ones that are pierced are kind of cool. And then don't forget, okay, so gingerbread man, oops. Gingerbread man here has a star. And don't forget, you can do appliques, okay? You can attach stuff, okay? All right, that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed that. Bye-bye. Let's see, where's my cursor?